All right, welcome back to another episode of Deer Season 25. We got a big day planned here on Terry's farm. First off this morning, we got some of the guys from Nutrien Ag Solutions coming out. They're gonna teach us a little bit about tissue sampling, and then we're gonna go in, got a couple target deer that we've been preparing tree stands and all summer here, so we're gonna go in, trim some access lanes. I got some new stealth cams we're gonna be hanging, and checking up on a few food plots and kind of giving you an update on what we're doing on the farm. Starting off this morning, these Nutrien Ag Solutions guys are going to be here in about 10 minutes. We're always trying to improve and do better and grow better food plots and make sure our soil health and our plant health is as good as possible. Earlier in the year, you saw the Deer Season episode where we did soil sampling, try to get your soil as good as possible. Now we're going to see if that worked. So we're going to go in, we're going to learn. I know nothing about it, so it's going to be really interesting to try to improve those yields on our fields, and we're going to see what they have to say. All right, well, out here on Terry's farm today, and we're gonna be doing a little bit of tissue sampling with the guys from Nutrien and Loveland here. We got Brian and Matt out here today. Do you guys wanna introduce yourselves, what you do, and
Sure. So
tissue sampling?
I'm Matt Williams. I'm with Nutrien Ag Solutions, crop consultant at a local retail branch. Work with predominantly farmers and hunters as well, and work on some food plots at times. As Forrest said, you know, soil sampling is very much a step number one, and tissue sampling is something that can be practiced later in the summer, and that's what we're going to do today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Brian Tercer. I'm the Loveland sales manager. I work with the Loveland products arm of Nutrien and Nutrien Ag Solutions, proprietary adjuvants, foliar nutrition, crop protection, seed treatments.
All right, well, now that we're introduced, we're gonna go out and check out a few fields and get into tissue sampling.
Sounds great.
All right, so out here at the first field, and I know zero about tissue sampling, so I don't know, what are you taking leaves or looking at the stems, or what exactly are you looking at?
Corn at this size, you're gonna take just the leaves. You'll wanna find the most fully developed leaf, and how you decide that is you look for these collars and these lines at the bottom of the leaf where it's attaching to the stalk. And so on this plant here, this is the highest collar, and so this would be the leaf that we'd wanna take. Now, if your corn is less than 12 inches tall, then you take the entire plant from the ground up. Okay. But as you get above that 12 inches, you want the most fully developed leaf, because that's where there's a lot of immobile nutrients, especially your micronutrients. And so if you only take from the bottom, they may have a lot of nutrients down there, but they aren't where the plant is actually growing to, where you actually get your yield and into your ear.
Okay. So that's the best method for this size corn. When you get corn that's fully tasseled, so the tassel's elongated, at that point in time, we'd be taking the leaf directly below the ear. Okay. So it'd be, you have your ear and the leaf associated with it. We want to take the leaf directly below that one. Okay. And that'd be on tasseled corn.
Okay. Is there an advantage to testing the corn when it's 12 inches tall, like you said, versus when it's this height versus when it's tasseled out?
Really, a lot of it is when you're going to make that application, that next application. When it's 12 inches tall, your price are going to come out with like a herbicide pass or something like that. And that way, if you know at that point that you're deficient in a certain nutrient or a collection of nutrients, then you can throw that in with your herbicide pass and go there. So if you do it, if you test after you make that last application, you'd have to make an extra application. So it's just trying to line it up with your application timing of other nutrients.
So from a food plot perspective, a lot of guys are smaller plots. They'd be better off testing it what's probably smaller, so they can put it in with their
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Absolutely. And that's where, you know, we start with our soil tests early on, and that gives us a great baseline, tells us where we're at. The tissue test tells us how much are we actually getting out of the soil. You know, our nutrients in the soil levels could be extremely high, but if like our soil pH is off, there's certain nutrients that are only available out of the soil at certain soil pHs. And so with the tissue test, then we know what we're actually getting into the plant after what we started with in the soil.
All right, we're out here in one of our soybean plots, and this one's hot wired, has the browse pressure outside the fence, and I guess we need a little bit taller plant, so we're in the hot wire here, and I have no clue what we're looking for, so take it away.
Sure. So tissue sampling soybeans, this is a great time to do it as we're hitting the reproductive stages. Again, we're looking at what's the plant extracting from the soil, what's it getting through the roots or the lack thereof. So we're going to just take a tissue sample. A field like this, we'd probably take a dozen different locations and maybe try to acquire 20 or 30 different trifoliates. The way we do that is just grab the plant and you kind of go down to look for the most developed or mature trifoliate in the upper portion of the plant. So aside from the terminal bud, I'm just looking at these trifoliates and comparing them to one another as we go down. And on this plant, I would say that probably the third trifoliate down from the top would be the one that we want to collect.
Okay.
We're just going to extract those 3 leaves and just do some random, the same exact method randomly throughout the field in roughly a dozen locations.
Okay. What's the, like on the corn we went with the highest, like most developed leaf, then on this one you said you went down. What's the purpose?
It's similar. We don't want to get a new leaf that's not had the capability of having a lot of nutrients fed to it yet.
Okay.
We don't want to get a very old leaf that's maybe many weeks old. So we're kind of, I think, just hitting a happy medium.
Okay.
Going down to a trifoliate that's had the ability to have nutrients translocated to that site in the plant.
Okay.
And as long as we do it consistently and record our growth stage when we send it to the lab, they take it from there and they know how to get us the results that we need.
Okay. So is there an advantage to, obviously with the corn we said like when it's shorter it's easier to put the nutritionals on and stuff like that, like these soybeans you could still get over, like a food plotter could still get over the top of these here.
Absolutely.
So is there a certain stage that's best to do it on soybeans to do the tissue sampling?
Any stage is fine. Back to the herbicide application, if you're post-applying herbicide to soybeans, maybe you want to take a tissue sample that week prior to prepare for a tank mix partner that you might want to put in, be it a boron type product or a manganese type product or anything else that the results show that we need. You know, you think about why do deer hone in and focus in on cornfields, soybean fields when they've got all this other vegetation around them. It's logical that it's because we're managing for maximum nutrition, and I just can't help but think that's what they're attracted to.
All right, so we're in the section of the field. Obviously, the section we were in before was hot wired, and those beans were tall. Out here, these are heavily browsed. So if a guy had a plot that wasn't hot wired, would they still be able to tissue sample these heavily browsed plants?
Absolutely. So on a plant this small, basically, I would recommend taking the entire plant.
There's not as much plant material there, and so we need all of it that we can get, because when it gets sent to the lab, they'll grind that plant material up, and then they'll just take a small sample out of that. So it'll get mixed together completely at the lab.
Say you have a food plot, and say this wasn't hot wired, and this section was really tall, and these were really browsed. Would there be an advantage to keeping those samples separate, potentially, from a nutritional standpoint?
Yes, it'd be very interesting to see, like you say, you have a spot that's getting browsed very hard versus non. The spot that's getting browsed heavily, it might have a better nutritional value. The deer are going to be naturally alerted to that and go those directions. So that might give you an idea for management even into the coming years going forward of, hey, this part of the field is doing really well. What is it looking like versus what are we lacking in these other parts of the field that maybe they are not browsing near as heavy.
Okay. All right, so we're back in the office. We got our samples taken. What's the next step, and what do we expect to get from here?
So once you have your samples, and I will say that you really want to take your samples either Monday or Tuesday, earlier in the week, because they are time sensitive. You don't want them to be sent to the lab on a Thursday or Friday, then sit over the weekend and not get tested until the next week. So definitely do it early in the week, and earlier in the morning is better. And once you have your sample, work with your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant, and they can fill out a submittal sheet, and then we can get these into a box and ship them off, overnight them to the lab, and get those results coming. Usually within a week, I would say at least.
Absolutely.
You'll have your results back, probably quicker than that, but usually at least within a week. And then once you get those results back, that's when, again, go back with your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant, talk through them, look at the different nutrients, whether they're good, bad, otherwise. Make that game plan. What can we actually put out there to help that crop, make it more healthy, make it more palatable to that wildlife? Without this result in these tests, we're flying blind. It's a 50-50 chance that what we're applying is what is actually needed out there in that field.
So I mean, you go in, you can do your soil sample prior to, and you can you put your fertilizer on based on that, lime, all that stuff, and then the tissue sample basically tells you that, okay, what you're doing is working, or here's what you need to do a little bit differently.
The one way I'd describe it is a tissue sample is like a real-time image of what that crop's doing and what it may be needing. You know, corn and soybeans in the Midwest where we're at today are predominant, but a lot of food plots out there of your green forages can be tissue sampled as well. I'd just recommend maybe contacting a crop consultant with Nutrien Ag Solutions and ask them the best method of tissue sampling, whatever that crop is, and they'll guide you in the right direction.
All right, so Matt's our crop consultant with Nutrien Ag Solutions, and Brian's with Loveland. So what exactly is your guys' relationship again?
So Nutrien Ag Solutions is obviously a retail leg of Nutrien. And the neat thing about our company is the team that we have under the Nutrien umbrella, and that includes Loveland Products along with others. Loveland Products brings a lot of the products that we're going to be handling, using, and applying.
Yeah, so we have a full line of foliar nutrition, things like that. Pretty much any nutrient deficiency out there, we've got an option for it. So we work very closely together to make all of our growers successful. It's a partnership to better help our growers and everything like that down the road.
So really, the bullet points on tissue sampling: staging your crop, getting a growth stage, and your crop consultant can help you with that as well. Collecting your samples, your tissue, getting them packaged properly, labeled properly, sent in the mail immediately. So you get your result, you meet up with your crop consultant, have that discussion on what actions you can take to improve the nutrition in your plant and improve the deer herd health and their nutrition, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just like, humans want to have a balanced diet. Wildlife are the exact same way, and this is the way that we can supplement their diet through the food plots and the tissue that's out there, give them better health and everything else.
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out. Appreciate you teaching us. I knew nothing about it. Now going forward, we're going to make our food plots that much better. So thank you guys for coming out and teaching us.
Thank you too.
Thank you for the opportunity.
This segment of DoD TV is brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions, transforming agriculture and feeding the future.
All right, well, we're getting some of the new cameras rolling. Some of the new stealth cams, and it's really nice. They don't take an SD card anymore. They have internal storage, so you're able to just plug the camera into a computer when you want to get the pictures off. But they have 32 gigabytes in there, so really, really nice. This is the new 4K Spectra camera, and we've been running a couple of them, and they're absolutely awesome. So excited to get this one out. We got a couple running over in Illinois, and gonna get a couple running here today. So getting some batteries in them, getting them all set up on the command app, and it's super easy. You just scan the QR code, drop on the map where you're going to be putting it, which way it's going to face, select the plan. The camera is ready to take pictures. And then the nice thing is you can go in and change the settings right within the camera. It makes it super, super easy. Well, I bet you're wondering why, as a deer manager, I have a set of waders. I used to be a waterfowl guide, so I used to put these on every day for work. Now I just put them on occasionally, and the reason is to hang a trail camera. One of the things that Terry and I have started doing with these 360 cameras is we have a lot of these ponds that are in the timber that are really small, and the deer really hit them hard in the summer. So here we can't feed or anything to get summer pictures. So we've had really, really good luck putting cameras over ponds. So, but it's really slick. The pictures are really, really cool. So this has worked really, really good for us for getting these pictures. And we'll leave this camera up all year. There's two deer in particular we're kind of setting up for today. One of them is a really old bully. He runs the farm, this whole end of the farm, but this is one of the primary spots. Get some really cool pictures here. All right, so all of this stuff on the right side, we put that stealth cam on that pond there, and these bucks, I think they're living, this is where we logged a few years ago, and ever since that we opened that canopy up, got all those big trees out of there, it's really thickened up the oak region and just all the little forbs and brush and stuff. It's gotten really, really thick down in here, so it seems like a lot of those deer in the winter month, or fall and winter, those does are in there, those bucks are in there chasing them and stuff. So that's kind of key, where basically the spots we're trimming out today and stuff are on both sides of that, and that's where a lot of those deer are coming out. So we're putting this camera, this is a pretty important spot. We got that road we came in on. We put a camera on that pond up there, up top, up on the ridge. Came down and came through where we logged. Where we logged is off here to the south of us. And those deer, they come and they walk out this road a lot. So in the summer here, gonna put this camera on it. They walk out that road, come out and nibble in these beans. And we gave them a bunch of beans here to eat. And then we have a bunch of hot wire nuts. Obviously, I mean, the ones in the hot wire are much, much taller. But we'll come in later this fall, here end of July, beginning of August, and we'll plant a green plot here, and then we'll hot wire that as well. So this camera will still stay here. Our hot wire just will extend over. I'll work these beans up. They're not very tall. They're not going to make anything. We'll plant a green plot here. I'll be able to water it because I got the pond right up above here if need be. Hopefully we get the rain, but this is one that we're able to water easily. So we'll have standing beans and then the green plot. The deer come out, walk the strip, the tree stands there. Put some scrape trees in later in the year, and then once the scrape trees are up, I'll move the camera on the pick, stick and pick here over to the scrape trees. So we're good to go. All right, wrapping up the day here. This is the last camera of the day I wanted to get up. Really excited about this spot. We typically get really good velvet pictures here. Nice little clover field, got this bottom here. It stays a little bit cooler, so hopefully the pictures start rolling in here pretty quick. We've already got some pictures rolling in from some of the other cameras. There's some pretty good growth it looks like so far, so stay tuned in deer season 25. There's definitely gonna be some awesome episodes coming at you, and by the looks of it, it's gonna be a heck of a fall. Well, you're getting a bunch of stuff done on the farm today, and one of the tools that we use every single day here, whether it's during hunting season or in the summer here when I'm working, is one of the tracker vehicles. We have the Tracker 800. We also have the Tracker EV. The Tracker 800, I'm using it literally every single day in the summer. It has that big bed in the back. I can put all my materials in there, all my tools, whether I'm putting trail cameras up or hanging tree stands or trimming tree stands. All my saws, all my cameras, all my materials will fit in there. And then when I go to spray some of those clover plots, and we're using our 60-gallon sprayer, I'm able to throw it in the back there as well. It handles that weight from that tank really, really well. The motor's a lot quieter than a lot of other side-by-sides on the market. For being a gas vehicle, it's very quiet. So as I'm going in and about the farm, I'm not really disturbing anything. Being able to slide through there and have the power, but being quiet is really, really nice. And then on the other hand, that EV, it is dead quiet. We use it every single day when we're hunting, turkey season and deer season, or even sometimes during the season when we're doing work on the farm, we're able to slip and slide real quiet through there. So they're tools that we use every single day. We put them through the paces. They're absolutely awesome. So we're gonna get right back into it and keep working on the farm here.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by the new Tenzing Voyager Day Pack. Go further, hunt longer, Tenzing.